Welcome back to Hockey Time in Oklahoma, live from Logie's on the Corner down here in Norman. I'm Amy Acevedo. Right here beside me is head coach of the Sooner Hockey Club, Pete Arvanitas. Tomorrow night, the Sooners will start their weekend tilt against Colorado State, and tomorrow night is Greek night, so if you're part of any fraternities and sororities, be sure to show up and show out for some great hockey action. So starting with our questions today, this team was really close to making the national tournament last season. How was kind of just missing out of that, being one of the first teams out? Has that motivated you at all, or is that something that you kind of put to the past?
No, it was a little disheartening just to the fact because, the top 24 teams make it. And in the final ranking, I think we're like 23rd. So in theory, we made it, but unfortunately, like any other sport, you got those auto bid teams. So even though we were in the top 24 that qualified us, unfortunately, there was one team I think that was ranked 29th, and then the other team I think was ranked number 37. They bumped out those two spots, and unfortunately, we were one of them. So in theory, we were happy with our season because our goal was to make the top 24. We did, but unfortunately, those auto bids unfortunately kicked us out.
Yeah, and speaking of those rankings, those computer-generated rankings, which sometimes people don't at home necessarily agree with, but this right now, you guys are currently ranked number 13, and you've been ranked all season, and you hold the top spot in the WCHL in your guys' division. Do you guys give any clout to that? Does that kind of motivate you, or is that something that you kind of don't really pay attention to and just keep sticking to your game?
As a coach, it's more like, you look towards practice, you have your games, your Friday's game, then you think of Saturday. Then you play your Saturday game, then you think of practice and who you play next week. So do we look at the rankings? Yes, I personally do. Do I have a lot of faith in it right now? No, I don't, because this is, I think, ranking number 4 or 5 or maybe even 6. So there's a lot of jumping around here, the first few rankings. So I won't really dissect it till about like mid-January, early February, because that's more or less where you know where you're going to be at. And because where you're at that time frame of the year is more or less where you're going to stick. So right now, our goal is just to keep playing. The computers likes it when you win.
Yes.
So our focus is just anybody we play right now is we focus on that week of practice to make sure we have a good game against that team.
Yeah. And speaking of that, these past 2 seasons have been really great for this program. This is your 3rd year back since your previous stint with the team that ended in 2018, and you led the team to a lot of tournament appearances then. What is it about these past 2 years with this team that has really built you guys back up to be in that spot where you have the potential to make the tournament?
Yeah. Well, the first year was a year where you obviously came in, and it was just basically, let's see what we have and how the league is, where it's gone. So it was an evaluation year, not only of our hockey program, but about the league itself. And then it was very obvious what we needed to bring in. So it did a good job in bringing in the players that we needed to basically make a big push towards the national tournament. And if you look at our roster from our first year to our year number 3 right now, we only have, I think, 4, maybe 5 guys from that team. So there was a big turnaround, and we expected that, but it made us better. And right now, obviously, our goal, our focus is to keep playing well every weekend to hopefully lead us into the national tournament.
Yeah. And speaking of playing well every weekend, you guys have done great at home. Only 1 loss at home. That was a few weeks ago against Arizona on that Friday night game. What do you think it is about playing? Is it the fans? There's been a lot of support this year, increased attendance. What do you think it is about playing at home that has made you guys so great?
It's been great because, as you said, it's been a great crowds, fraternity crowds, sorority crowds, so families, and obviously we have a lot of our kids that are from the Texas area. So it's only like a 2-hour drive. So the families do come. They have the accessibility to come and support us, but. It's fun. I've always said it. It's always good for the players to play in front of big crowds. We just came back from Missouri, and they have a great atmosphere there too. And right now, it's the benefits that our players right now going through that as well, where they get to play in front of good crowds. And obviously, our goal is to make sure we do well on the ice and hopefully come back with some wins.
Yeah. Now, this past series against Drury, you guys were swept on the road, unfortunately, but they were close games, and the Saturday night game was lost in a shootout. So despite there being 2 losses now on your record, what do you guys think you can learn about it, and especially the way that you guys kept those games so close?
Yeah, it's like I told them this past weekend. We played, at the time we were ranked 8th, and they were ranked number 9. So battles like that is what you look forward to at nationals. Those are the type of games you're going to play. Their teams are going to be bigger. They're going to be faster. Great goaltending. So the games are not going to be lopsided like 9-1 or 9-2. They're going to be close games. And the teams that make the least amount of mental mistakes are usually the ones that come on top. And unfortunately, we made a couple little mistakes. and they capitalized on it. But it's a learning curve, you know. That's why I've always said you don't win championships in October or November. You learn from them, and hopefully come February, March, you don't make those mental mistakes then.
Yeah, and speaking of Drury being ranked number 9 last week, now they're number 10 this week. You guys have played a lot of highly ranked teams so far this season and either been very close to or have swept them, beat them, whatever. What do you think it says about that team this year that you can come into these top 25, top 10 matchups and come out on top?
Yeah, but it's like you said, like the teams we've played, like, you know, Arizona was a 15-ranked team. Drury was a number 9 team. And those games are going to be close. And what we did a good job in the players that we brought in specific players for this specific team.
Yeah.
So obviously the goal is to have those type of players. They play a certain way to make sure that we're successful. And everybody's different. We're not going to bring in 20 guys that score 50 goals a year. You know, that just doesn't make a good chemistry of a team.
Yeah.
So we're able to bring different types of players to make sure that this hockey team is built for any type of game that's thrown at us. If they want to play a high-scoring game, we can do that. If they want to play a defensive game, we can do that. If they want to play a hard-checking game, we can do that. So any facets that I think that we will face in our upcoming games or at nationals, I think we can basically go toe-to-toe with any team we face.
Yeah, and speaking of bringing in those players, you guys had a lot of rookies this season that you guys have brought in, and a lot of them have been doing a lot of the scoring, a lot of the assist, points leaders on the team, but you also have that strong veteran foundation. How do you think the balance of the new rookie talent and the talent and leadership of your veterans has combined to make you guys so great so far this season?
Well, no, that's a great question, and you got to have that mixture. You got to have the players that have been there before that they haven't had this opportunity, and now they see that there's light at the end of the tunnel here. And the new players, obviously, they're energetic. Our past 2 classes that we brought in, if you check our top 5, 6 scorers, it's all basically freshmen or sophomore.
Yeah.
So, yes, they have been doing most of the scoring. But, again, that veteran leadership from guys that have been here 2 or 3 years before that, they understand that this is how a team is built. You got to have certain players that do certain roles, and everybody's accepted their role. And now that we do that, now we just got to gain that chemistry and build on it game after game.
Yeah. So bringing that chemistry to this weekend, you guys are starting off your series against Colorado State. What are some things that you see in them? What are you looking for? Their strengths, their weaknesses that you think might be a challenge this weekend?
Yeah, the good thing with Colorado State is we've already played them, so we already know a little bit of what to expect. Obviously, after we were finished here, we have a video session that we're going to show the guys. And, again, it's just a refresh of what they do well and what we can basically use to our advantage. So is there weaknesses on both sides of the teams at this time of the year? 100%. But, again, on games like this, especially games that are in-conference games that count towards our conference, crucial. You know, I don't care if you're ranked, like you said before, ranked number 1. That doesn't matter. If you rank 1 or you rank 10, when you come to in-conference games, they're always going to be hard-fought, close games. And we want to make sure that our players are ready for that challenge.
Yeah. Speaking of hard-fought games, the series after that, after the Thanksgiving break, is against UCO. And that's kind of a rivalry that's been lopsided, tilted in UCO's favor these past few seasons. But you guys are off to a much hotter start than they are this season. How are you guys going to approach that season, if you've thought of it at all so far, that series, I mean?
You can actually ask me that question after Friday, but right now our focus literally is Colorado State.
Awesome. So what are you hoping to do with this team? What are your hopes for this team for this season?
Yeah, our main goal has been, since day one, is we want to get to nationals. And the minute you get into nationals, it's a 1-game series. So a lot of times it's who you're matching up with, if it's a good matchup, which goalie's hotter. So it really has a lot of, it's not like a 7-game series where you can start tweaking things. It's literally you have to come in mentally and physically ready. And obviously the hope is you go and get in there healthy, because a lot of times if you look at any championship team, no matter what sport you play, if you're playing football and your quarterback is hurt, it's going to be a rough game. It's the same thing in hockey. You want to make sure your goalies are healthy, all your lines are healthy, your defensemen are healthy. So first and foremost, healthy, get into the tournament, play our style of game, and I think we can do well.
Awesome. All right, thank you. Well, that's it for all the more serious hockey-related questions. And we know in hockey, obviously, you have some experience. You played in the CHL, Nashville, Oklahoma City, part of that 2000-2001 championship Blazers team. There's a lot of fighting involved in hockey.
Okay.
So our next kind of topic revolves around, of these NHL hockey mascots, which ones do you think you could beat in a fist fight?
That I can beat?
Yes.
I'll probably lose all of them, but
Well, I guess we'll see. All right.
oh, he
first
can
up,
definitely beat me. That's the Broad Street Bully guy right there.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Gritty.
There you go.
Gritty
yes.
from the Philadelphia
definitely,
Flyers.
Yeah, he's got one up on me for sure.
All right. So Gritty's taking that one.
Yes.
My very own
yeah,
at-home New
I
Jersey
can take
Devil.
that guy. I can
Really?
Take, yes. Him, I think I can really take. Gritty,
Okay.
no. Him, yes.
All right. Yeah, Gritty's he's got that craziness in his eyes. All right. Dr. Shaw, our wonderful producer and play-by-play.
I hope I can take him. What is that, a mouse? Yes, I
Yeah.
hope. Yeah, I'll give
I
myself
think
the edge.
I think it's like an ice hog. I think
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a pig, but
Yes, I'll give myself the edge on that one.
all right. Next we got from the Dallas Stars,
Definitely.
Mr. Victory Green.
Well, it's from Dallas, so obviously we're Oklahoma. We got to say that. Yes, we'll have the upper hand on this one.
Okay, yeah. This seems about right. Oh, Bluey. I believe that's his name. Bluey? Louie from the St. Louis Blues.
No, they're tough. I'll give him the edge.
Give the bear. All right. Next, now we're getting into some non-crew related mascots. I believe his name is Chance for the Vegas Golden Knights.
He looks intimidating.
Yeah.
Yes, he can take me. Yes. Yeah, that's an intimidating man right there.
All right, we got 4 more, I believe, 3 or 4 more. I think.
Oh, I can take him. If that's
Columbus
a frog,
Blue Jackets?
yes. I don't know what.
Yeah, I think is he supposed to be a blue jacket?
Oh, that's a blue jacket?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I can take that.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll give myself the edge on that one.
All right. So we got the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, the hawk. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice bird. I'll give him the edge.
Give him that one?
Yes, definitely.
All right, and then our last one,
What do we got?
we got the lightning bug from the Tampa Bay.
No, I think I can take a bug.
Yeah,
Yes, I'll give
just
myself
squash it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can take the edge on that one.
All right, okay, so not too bad. A little bit half and half maybe.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for your time and talking to us today. We appreciate it, and good luck on the series this weekend.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
When we come back, we'll have some interviews with some of the players next with play-by-play Christian Markey. So we'll see you back in a little bit on OU Hockey TV.
Welcome back, Sooner Nation, to Hockey Time in Oklahoma. I'm joined by Sooner forward number 37, Benjamin Mondou, the Quebecois native. We say so much on air. Thank you for joining us today, Ben. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So far this season, you've kind of been crushing it in terms of numbers. We talked about it earlier, but you're averaging a point per game right now, 17 points through 17 games. And then last year, I want to make note of this, 31 points through 31 games. So you're just a point per game type of guy. How's that been working?
I mean, I guess pretty good. I'm trying to be more than a point per game, but I guess I'm just consistent.
So you're a native to Montreal, Quebec. How did you get to Oklahoma? Kind of walk us through your journey and your family background and all that stuff.
So it's kind of a long story. So I grew up in Montreal for 16 years, and then my dad actually moved us to Toronto. So I played AAA my whole life there in Montreal, and then moved to Toronto. Lived there for 2 years, played AAA there too. And then my dad got a job down in Texas, so I moved there. there was a junior team, the Brahmas,
Yep.
in Texas. We found, like, I moved through, like, halfway through my junior year of high school.
Okay.
So I had to find somewhere to play. They were nice enough to let me, like, hop in their practices and stuff. So I ended up playing there for 4 years. And then coach recruited me, I guess, and ended up here.
Do you have any other influences when you started playing hockey? Kind of obviously living in Canada is a big influence, but who else got you into it?
I mean, my dad. My dad's the one that got me into it. My dad would always take me to practices like early morning. Before school, he'd really push me, and really he's the one that made me the hockey player I am.
So the Québécois kind of get a bad rap in the French-speaking world. Why would you say that is? Why is there such a negative kind of?
I don't know. I don't mind it. I kind of love it.
Okay.
It's just, I guess I'm from there, so I embrace it. But I don't know. I guess the rest of the country's English speaking, so they don't really like us being the outliers. I don't know.
So we have Thanksgiving coming up in just a little over a week. In Canada, there's a different day for Thanksgiving and kind of a different meaning. Can you give us a little bit of a history lesson on kind of like what Canadian Thanksgiving is and how it's different from American Thanksgiving?
I personally have never we celebrate Thanksgiving, I want to say, but not like it is here. We don't get a week off. We don't really get, it's not really like that big of a holiday. We've never done dinner like that. So it was kind of a culture shock when I came here. So I couldn't really tell you about history. It's kind of just like Halloween.
Okay. Gotcha. And so also another thing that's coming up is the Winter Classic. If you had to pick a dream location to play a Winter Classic game in, where would it be and what teams would you have play it?
I got to go with the hometown. I got to go in Montreal. I would love to go back there and play. Dream teams, you said?
Yeah, dream matchup.
I would probably the Canadians and Maple Leafs.
Okay. Traditional Regional Six matchup.
Rival.
If you had a dream line to play with, what would that line be?
I was talking about it with the guys earlier. I'd probably go Patrick Kane and McDavid, honestly. Patrick Kane is a big playmaker, and McDavid's just...
What about on defense?
On defense? Oh, I didn't think about that. I want to say Cale Makar.
Okay.
And... now you're throwing a big... Caden Gooley. He's my guy.
Okay.
I got to go with my guy.
And then who's in net?
Carey Price.
Carey Price, that's a great one. That's a great one.
All time.
We know there's a lot of different ways to score in hockey. Some are pretty, some aren't. If you had a fantasy type of scoring opportunity, what would it be? A big slap shot, a breakaway? Like, what would be your dream scenario, like your perfect goal?
I don't score many of those, but the one-timers. I love a good one-timer. Fods is pretty good at those, but I got to give him credit for those.
Okay, and now we're going to do our new segment. We're going to do which NHL mascot would win in a fight. So if they're put into an octagon or a ring, who would win the matchup? So the first mascot we got is Tampa Bay. It's a little lightning bolt bug.
Okay.
And then the Blue Jacket from Columbus. So they're both bugs. But which one would you take?
I got to go with the Blue Jacket.
Got to go with
a little meaner.
Okay. And then the next one we got the Blackhawk and Blue. This is a rivalry matchup right now. This is rivalry matchup. Blues Blackhawks. Which mascot's taking it? You got one that can fly, and I don't know what he does, but
I don't know. He's a pretty big boy though.
Yeah.
So I'd go with the Blues.
Okay. Blues for the win on that, and then got Chance and Victory Green, last year's Western Conference final matchup. You got Intergalactic Alien versus a Gila Monster.
Yeah. I'd probably go with Chance. He looks a little meaner with that smile. I don't know.
Okay. And then last one we'll do is New Jersey Devil versus Gritty.
Gritty. You got to go Gritty.
Got to go with Gritty. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We will be right back with Tristan Davidson coming up. Stay tuned. Awesome. Great. Yeah. Nice to see you. Nothing intense. No, not too bad. Welcome back, Sooner Nation, to Hockey Time in Oklahoma. Thank you to Benjamin Mondou for joining us. And now we have Tristan Davidson, native to Ringwood, New Jersey. Tristan, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not so bad. So far this season, through 9 games, you got 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists. And then we're going to compare that to last year, where through 15 games, you also had 6 points. So you already have matched what your points were through more games last season. How has that kind of felt going into this season, maybe a little stronger?
It's felt a lot better. I feel like I improved a lot over the last year and a half, and it definitely feels good.
And so we kind of talked about this earlier, but there's this secret fraternity, kind of chemistry, if you want to call it, on the Sooners, different OU hockey players in different fraternities. But the one last year that we saw was you and Jake Barone last year were definitely there for Sigma Chi. And then now this year, you're little in Sigma Chi. Alex Kagan is also on the back end. How has that been kind of now having a younger guy to have under your wing going into this year versus it being kind of other way around last year?
Well, it's definitely a lot of fun. You know, we go to the rink every day together. We're always at the house together. We hang out. I consider him one of my best friends. So it's really cool being able to play with him and having him on my back end. I trust him a lot with everything. You know, I trust him to drive me to the rink, and I don't trust a lot of people to do that. So
Tristan and I got a little close because my best friend from Dallas, Thomas, is his big, and so that's how we kind of got connected. And then it turns out Alex Kagan, is his G Little now, and so that worked out. We have some B-roll footage of that we'll pump out to you guys in the next coming weeks with an interview with him. We're going to kind of pivot focus here. Who's the best teammate to sit next to on a 16-hour road trip, and who would be the worst teammate to sit next to on a 16-hour road trip?
Best teammate. I really like T Glass because he does his thing, I do mine. You know, we kind of whatever the Tristan chemistry is.
Okay.
We leave each other alone, but we were able to talk and not bother each other too much.
Coexist. Yeah.
You know, sometimes he's watching his movie, I'm watching my movie, whatever it is.
And who would you not like if you had to sit next to some guy on a 16-hour road trip? And you'd be like, dang.
I love Logan Cavalcanti, but it drives me crazy. But I love him to death.
What would be your dream job after you graduate? Kind of what are you setting your sights on post OU to kind of enter the workforce in with?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I'm an MIS major, so I'm really looking for something like data analytics or something along the lines where I can work with computers and be a part of like a big company, a big business.
Nice. And so I asked Mondou, but I'm going to ask you now. What would be your dream line? Dream line in hockey, past or present?
I'm probably going to have to go with, the two best players in the NHL, Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon.
Okay. He's got a lot of speed up there.
Oh yeah, and I think that would be something.
Who's rounding out in the defense and in net for you?
Defense. I'm a Ranger fan, so I'm going to go with Shesterkin, goalie.
Okay.
And defense is a little harder to go with, but
get a Trouba flying elbow in there maybe on that line.
Yeah, I'll go Trouba and then I'll go Victor Hedman.
Okay.
He can get the puck up the ice.
And we're also talking to Mondou about Dream Winter Classic location and matchup. We know that's coming up in January, and that's obviously a big day for hockey. And kind of what two teams would you love to see, and where would you love to see it?
I'm, like I said before, a Rangers fan, so I got to watch the Rangers. And I think, I don't know, I'd really like to just see maybe like the Oilers.
Okay.
If I'm going to the game, I want to watch my team, but I want to watch McDavid play live.
Okay. And then what would be your dream goal to score, let's say, for OU hockey? Like what setup, what type of goal, against who maybe, what would that look like for you?
It'd have to be an overtime goal, just like something real pretty, like a 2-on-1 or like a 3-on-2, but I want it to be like a lot of puck movement, like all three guys on the line get a touch.
Okay. All right. And so now we're going to break into the mascot segment. So we're going to pull up two different mascots, and you're going to pick which one would win in a fight if they were put into an octagon or a boxing ring. So we have the Blue Jacket mascot and then Tommy Hawk.
I'm going to go with Tommy Hawk.
Tommy Hawk takes the cake. Next up, Bluey, and then Chance the Gila Monster.
I'm going to go with Bluey.
Bluey's beating the Gila Monster.
I like it.
Okay. And then Victory Green. This is going to be a tough one. You got Intergalactic. larger mascot versus whatever Gritty is?
I'm gonna go with Gritty.
Oh.
I mean, the name itself, Gritty.
Yeah, it's Gritty. He's Gritty. He's a gritty guy.
Yep.
Let's go with the New Jersey Devil and then the Tampa Bay Lightning Bug.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Devil.
Okay. And then that will round it out. So thank you, Tristan Davidson, for joining us on this segment. Next up, we have Caleb Shaw, other play-by-play commentator for the OU hockey team that will be bringing in defenseman Blake Swearingen for your OU Sooners. So make sure to stay tuned, and thank you for watching.
Hi, guys, and welcome back into Hockey Time in Oklahoma. We got one more segment for you tonight, and I'm sitting alongside Blake Swearingen, one of our senior defensemen here at OU, and you've been here for the entire journey with Coach Arvanitas so far, and, you know, he was kind of hinting at us that this is kind of the year that all the puzzle pieces are coming together. Is that what it feels like amongst the vets?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just when I got here to what we are as a team now, I mean, yeah, puzzle pieces are fitting together. We've got everybody working totally in the same line. We know we're all pulling the same rope, going the same way. And it's taken a lot of work to get to that. And, you know, the new freshman class this year has just really kind of brought it home and really cemented it for us. And, yeah, so it's really exciting. Yeah, it's cool.
It feels a lot like, especially from a case like you're playing a defenseman, you guys play the heaviest minutes of anybody, but it really feels like any given night, all six of you guys could play 20 minutes apiece and split the ice time evenly. Is that kind of the goal this year, or do you guys really have any set, I'm going to match up on this line, you're going to match up on that line?
I mean, I think it's totally dependent on the opponent that night. Some games we definitely do a lot of matching. Sometimes it's just rolling. You know, Huberty does a lot of scouting for us, and you know, he runs the back end really well. So it's just totally dependent on who we're playing. But, yeah, I totally think, honestly, any night we could put, you know, just all six of us on the bench and just roll, and it'd totally work fine. So, yeah.
So you're playing in front of 4 different netminders this year who are all sharing the ice time. That's always a huge plus because it keeps everybody fresh.
Yeah.
But what's that like in practice now? Because it's like you have 2 guys at both ends of the ice who can help you guys with drills. You guys can break up and maybe do things in sets a bit more. Has that been the environment at practice this year, having all 4 guys dressed?
Yeah, I think it definitely, like, heightens the I mean, to say the intensity sounds wrong because, I mean, everybody's going hard, but, you know, it's on the back end thinking about it. If we're doing a 5-on-5 drill or we're doing a breakout drill, you know, we're getting goalies involved a lot. And so, you know, especially with a lot of these young guys, like they like to come out and play the puck. Ford and Payne do, and BCB's not really that much. So it keeps us on our toes, keeps us, you know, getting better and pushing us as a D-core. So, yeah, it is nice to have those extra goaltenders that really like to get out and play a little bit different.
And that's always been interesting for us in the booth this year is watching how all 4 of them have a distinct playing style, too. You can tell who is who by their mannerisms on the ice, how they go into their stance, things like that. Yeah. It feels like you guys have a real identity this year. I know you dropped a little bit in the rankings, but looking back at last weekend, and moving into this one, what's been going right for you guys?
Man, I think it's really when we come in with the right mindset, just to every weekend. Honestly, that's really kind of been it with our team. I mean, we are fit enough. We know the systems. You can sit anybody down and they can draw it out on what we're supposed to do. It's just getting there with the right mindset and being able to focus and execute. And, it's been a good problem to have because obviously, that's something that we can easily fix. After our first, after the start of the year with our first games, you could tell it wasn't there. And then we go on a really good streak. And then, this past weekend just wasn't there as much. And, but that happens. And, still a lot of time left to play and a lot of time to continue to dial in that mental mindset and keep developing.
So it seems like you guys have been building and building. So if you could do this on your own and put together a dream lineup, a starting 5 to come out in the middle of the Stanley Cup playoffs, past or present, all right, let's put a line together. Who are you going with?
Oh, man, okay, so for the show or for
so just a starting 5, center, left wing, right wing.
Anybody all time.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, if I'm in it too, I'm playing in that lineup.
You can make yourself.
Well, if I'm gonna, let's say I'm in the lineup, I want to be in there. I want to experience
coming in at right defense.
Yeah. I want to experience some Stanley Cup glory. So me, Duncan Keith, that would be my D partner for sure.
All right.
Working on the forward side of it. You got to have Wayne.
Right.
Got to have the great one. I mean. No, he's going to give me tons of points. So
right.
I'm going to need all the help I can get if I'm out there.
He'll be setting you up, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I need all the help. And then, I'm a Hawks fan, so I would like to relive some of the glory days and go Taze and Keith would be pretty Taze and Keith, oh my gosh. Taze and Kane. Okay. Out there would be pretty cool to see. Yeah. So right. pretty Hawks heavy lineup. But.
Yeah, and then, so you can take me from my inline hockey days up on the left wing.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Hey, with Wayne out there, we will be totally fine.
Yeah, I'll make sure that line is, I'll be enforcing.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Speaking of enforcement, you're one of the bigger guys on the team, and we wanted to go through a few of these and ask you, do you think you could take these NHL mascots in a fight? A fair fight, let's say 8 rounds.
8 rounds, okay.
Yeah. All right, we'll start with Tommy Hawk.
Man, I have when I was in high school, there was a video of Tommy Hawk laying down the law on an unruly fan. So,
right.
And as a Hawks fan, I gotta bow down before Tommy Hawk. I think I lose that one.
All right, so we'll take it over to St. Louis. How about Louis?
Oh, I'm definitely beating Louis. What do you mean? 100%. I can't beat Tommy Hawk, but the Hawks can beat the Blues, so I got Bluey.
All right, one more might be a bigger challenge for you.
Yeah. Oh, gritty. Man, Philly's a hard town. I think I got him. He's got a beard. That's a pretty good leverage point. I think I can grab a hold of that and start feeding him. Yeah.
All right, and then one more that even I think I might be able to take. Stormy.
Stormy? Man, I think I got Stormy.
All right.
I got Stormy. Yeah, well, I'm not too worried about it.
That's all we got for you tonight, guys. Thanks for sticking around with us at Logie's. Remember, you can come out here every Wednesday for Wing Wednesday. Catch us this weekend, Thursday and Friday. It's an early week for us at Arctic Edge Ice Arena. We're at the Colorado State Rams in town. We can't wait to see you there in a couple days. Thanks for being with us tonight. This is Hockey Time in Oklahoma.
Boomer Sooner.